HustlesAfrica.com, a guide to high-paying online jobs. At HustlesAfrica.com, you will discover the jobs people are doing from home, the platforms where opportunities are found, the skills that open doors, and the practical steps to begin earning. Go to HustlesAfrica.com today. Hello there, people of the internet. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Tuju, and this is Political Headache. I am alone in the studio today, and I just want to talk to the people of the internet today. We are having a lot of issues in our country, and one of those issues actually is abduction and the issues of Kenyans being killed and the killers never getting found. We have covered this story a lot of times. The issue of Tuju, we have covered it, I think, 3 or 4 times. And when this story started coming out, people of the internet, I thought that Tuju is being persecuted. And this is what I believed. And so, as somebody who studied journalism and somebody who enjoys a lot of research, I've been hearing a lot of stories about Tuju. And first of all, as a Luo man, I am not happy tonight. As a Kenyan, I am even angrier. And as somebody who has talked about this thing and thought that Tuju is being persecuted, I am not at all impressed. Okay? Today, I had a long conversation with somebody who is very close to Tuju. And there is a time Tuju was the Minister of Tourism. And there was a problem with how money that was supposed to be used in trying to place ads on the Time magazine, on CNN, the Wall Street Journal, and all the other big media platforms across the world to actually market Kenya. That money apparently, and according to the people that were talking to me, that money was swindled. There is a young man, a Luo man, who used to work with the TV stations. And I'm not going to name his name because I think there is no need for naming his name. This gentleman, together with his fellow journalist, actually got wind of this thing. And when they got wind of this thing, they decided to approach this gentleman, Mr. Tuju, to sort of agree on the way forward or to get his comment. What did Tuju do? According to this young man, Tuju actually fixed them, asked him to come to his office, and then rigged the office with cameras, and then offered money to this young man. This young man refused to take the money. The gentleman that was with him actually jumped in to take that money. And the EACC or the police swooped in and arrested this young man and his friend. That young man would then be indicted, taken to court, and imprisoned for 3 years. That is what happened. And if you look back to what happened to the judiciary, members of the judiciary, the gentleman that was arrested by Tuju, arrested by the EACC because Tuju had actually told them that he was going to bribe them, but in the process, invited the government or invited the EACC agents to swoop in and arrest this person. So it begins to be something that is going on, something that is consistent. I sat down with another gentleman today in the afternoon. His name is Olo. You remember the Jubilee gentleman that was in court for a long time. And he told me a gory stories of how this gentleman again was involved in his court case. And he almost went to prison. It is said that it is this man that actually altered what was in the documents that would later land him in court. These are the stories that I keep hearing about Tuju. Now, people of the internet, yesterday I was here with the video Doyo in the afternoon. And the video Doyo actually told me that he believes that Tuju has actually abducted himself. And this is something that is very egregious. And I am really wondering why we are doing this. But first of all, before this entire thing, I want us to listen to how this thing has happened. Let us listen to the people that have been dragged into this story. First of all, I want us to play where Tuju is actually saying that he has been kicked out of his home. Let us have a listen, because we are going to look at these videos. What is that? But you just told me that you've got videos, brother. Yeah, let's play them. Let's play the videos that you have. There is a play. You told me that you have the one where Orengo is? Let's play that video. People of the internet, I want us to listen to that video where PLO is. I want you to also line up some of the photos that I sent you where we were. There is Robert Alai, there is Kalonzo Musyoka, and there is Sefuna. But first of all, play that video so that the people of the internet can actually listen in.
Say, all is well that ends well. It is good to see you alive and well, and our hope and prayer is that all matters that may have given birth to this will be litigated in court and dealt with in accordance with the law. Thank you very much.
Well, PLO has spoken, and we are in complete agreement. We thank God that our brother is alive and well. And we know Raphael Tuju, and we know what he has gone through. I have absolutely no reason not to believe what he has just said. And the truth of the matter is there's an abduction squad in town. So let everybody calm down and adhere to the principles of constitutionalism and the rule of law. We are a country under the rule of law, at least those of us who believe so, and we will work very hard.
Because it's easy to know when you're being followed. You drive, you slow down, they slow down, you overtake, they try to overtake. And after that incident, of course, I reported to Karen Police Station, and the reference OB that's on Friday is 21/21/03/2026. And I did explain to them that I was a little bit concerned and worried that I'm being followed. Unfortunately, on Saturday evening, I was supposed to be going for an interview at Ramogi Radio. I'd made a commitment to go there. Then again, the same vehicle, a Land Cruiser, and this time a little bit more concerning, the vehicle didn't have plate numbers. And having experienced last week when close to 20 police Land Rovers came to my premises, and some of them didn't have plate numbers. So I got very worried. I happened to have my aide next to me, but I was the one driving. I tend to drive myself very often. And by the time I reached Karen roundabout, they really closed in. And now they're definitely making sure that back to back with me. So fortunately, I know Karen well. I branched into Nandi Road. They were not able to branch into Nandi Road. If you go, you can see how that road is structured there. So it meant that they either had to turn and face the oncoming traffic to follow me, or they had to go around. That's how I lost them. Of course, I went into some roads within Karen, and I realized that since I was being followed, I'd already reported to the police. I abandoned the vehicle there. I want to thank Kenyans, but I also especially want to thank a family in Kiambu, the boundary between here and Kiambu, that were able to give me shelter. They didn't care what my tribe is. They just saw me as a human being until yesterday past midnight when I was able to come here. My family is very traumatized, and I think that all my relatives are traumatized. Kenyans of goodwill are traumatized. And I consider myself just blessed because I know there are Kenyans in unmarked graves. I know that Cyrus Jirongo died. I know that Ojwang was killed. And Kenyans are being slaughtered like chicken. And you have absolutely no protection. You may ask, why didn't I go to a police station to report? But if the police themselves have been to my place without plate numbers on their vehicles, how do you go report? I think there was a case of Gaido who was abducted at Karen police station. So I've had to think from past midnight when I was here, what do I do next? If I go to the police station, Gaido was abducted in front of the police station where he thought he was going for safety.
All right, people of the internet, so that is what is happening. That is what Tuju is saying to have happened to him. And I want to invite you, people of the internet, to also chime in on this thing, because I don't think that I've got the monopoly of opinion. But I just have a problem with a lot of things. I have a problem with a lot of things that are happening in this story. Because I want to remind you of something of how this whole thing starts. If you can see on the screen, you can see the account of Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka. I think it's already on the screen. Okay? And I want to read what Kalonzo Musyoka is saying. This is when Tuju is apparently missing. Kalonzo Musyoka says 20 hours ago, yesterday evening, former cabinet secretary Tuju and his driver were forcibly abducted. This is the word. And I'm going to read for you something that was sent to me by an activist. Later on in this, after this, I'm going to read word for word what he wrote to me. It was a long text of what this gentleman wrote to me. But Tuju says that the vehicle was, Kalonzo Musyoka says that the vehicle was later found abandoned in Karen, Nairobi, and both men remain missing to this hour. Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka says this is unlawful, unconstitutional, a direct affront to the dignity of every Kenyan citizen. Kalonzo Musyoka goes ahead, the same Kalonzo Musyoka that was at the police station today, goes ahead and says that, make no mistake, the United Alternative Government and every Kenyan of goodwill condemns this criminal act in the strongest terms possible. CS Raphael Tuju and his driver must be produced alive and returned to their families. And this is what is really, really worrying, because who is being said to be Tuju's driver is not actually Tuju's driver. This gentleman is a friend of Tuju, who has actually gone ahead and tried to become an MP and was unsuccessful. So these are the people that are talking about the abduction of Tuju, while Tuju was never abducted. I want us to see, to look at the image that Sifuna actually put. I think you can put it on, and let us read what Sifuna is saying. Because the thing is, people of the internet, this is, I think that when, let me not say this, I'm going to read for you what I was sent by this activist, okay? Edwin Sifuna comes out and says, actually today, that we must all be gravely concerned about this Tuju situation. You may say it's a private matter, but what you need to understand is that it's a continuation of the Mambo ni Matatu. Edwin Sifuna here is actually referring to what the President of the Republic of Kenya actually said sometimes back on another unrelated case. He says that the Mambo ni Matatu way of solving private commercial disputes, see it in the context of Rai and the deported Chinese businessman over 30 billion tender. We have a rogue regime that deploys dark arts to force outcomes in commercial disputes. No investor would put their money into a country. It is why the private sector is fleeing Kenya. It is why young people have no jobs. It is why we keep insisting on the values of our constitution. Now, if you look at Kalonzo Musyoka, is a very, very, very big person in our society. He has actually been defrauded by this situation. I don't want to say defrauded by Tuju, but I think that's what it is. We have Edwin Sifuna, who is a very popular member in this country. This person is actually being watched by the international community, by the embassies, by everybody around our country, and even globally. He is the same person that is talking about people fleeing this country, people who cannot invest in this country because they fear that they will be abducted like the businessman, the Chinese businessman was abducted. While he's talking about all these things, Tuju is not abducted. Now, what does this do to our country? This is actually signaling something that is very interesting, that Kenya is not safe, that somebody cannot come and set up business in Kenya. And by the way, people of the internet, the people that come into this country and set up our businesses, this is where we get our jobs. And we cannot at all, because I'm very angry tonight, by the way, we cannot play these games with our country. Tuju is not a poor man. Tuju is not being persecuted. I have to say this today. Tuju took a loan of 1.2 billion Kenya shillings 10 years ago. That is 2 presidential terms years ago. This same Tuju has not paid a dime back to the people that gave him 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. This is the same man that was told to vacate Dari some 2 years ago, but because he was friends with Uhuru Kenyatta, because he was friends with the government of that time, actually deployed the policemen to harass the people, the receivers, the receiver managers that were supposed to take the hold of Dari. So that is what is happening. I want to read for you a letter that was sent to me by one of the guys that are actually from the civil society. And this is what he says. There is something deeply dangerous about using the language of abduction for personal drama, legal strategy, and public sympathy in a country like Kenya. He goes on to say, in a country, this might be dismissed as a bizarre stunt, a strange public relations gamble, or the dispensation of a man under pressure. But in Kenya, he says, abduction is not a theatrical word. Okay? And as Kenyans, we must not use this for political gains. It is not a storyline to be borrowed when one has financial troubles, political pressure, or damaged public image. He goes to say, in Kenya, abduction in our country has been terror. It is the phone call that never comes back. It is the child who leaves home and does not return. It is the activist whose family begins to search hospitals, police stations, morgues, and roadside ditches. It is the fear that unmarked cars bring. It is the fear of plainclothes policemen. It is the fear of being taken outside the law. So when a powerful man appears to have used that national trauma as part of his script, the issue goes beyond Raphael Tuju himself. That issue becomes a matter of personal trust, public trust. It becomes a matter of justice. It becomes a matter of what happens the next time a Kenyan says, my brother has been taken, my son is missing, or my husband has been abducted. Because now, thanks to this kind of conduct, the cynics will laugh fast, the police will deny fast, government defenders will mock fast, and real victims may be doubted because a well-known figure appears to have cried the same way. And when he talks about real victims when he says about the police will delay fast, government defenders will mock fast, I think I want to go to the video. There is a video of the policeman talking about the fact that, do you have that video? Yes. Do you have the video of DCI? Let us play the video of DCI. After playing the video of DCI, we are going to look at what a lie actually posted today. So that, because this one reinforces and emphasizes the point that this gentleman writes to me on this image. Let us listen to him.
The family's initial denial of access to Mr. Tuju's residence along Mitu Drive, the National Police Service escalated the matter with utmost urgency and utmost resolve. A combined operational team comprising of uniformed police officers and experienced plainclothes detectives was immediately deployed to secure the location, and in particular, the residence of Honorable Raphael Tuju, a deployment that started very late in the night. The homestead was fully cordoned off to preserve the scene and prevent any potential interference or flight, while investigators simultaneously pursued a search warrant from the courts in line with the legal procedures. Crucially, and based on solid intelligence and meticulous forensic analysis, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations conclusively, and I'm saying this without an iota of doubt, that Honorable Raphael Tuju was physically present within his residence throughout the period in question. Even at the precise time his mobile phone was switched off at 18:18 hours on 21st of March 2026, he was at his current residence. When confronted with the reality that police were closing in on the truth and that his deception could no longer be sustained, Mr. Tuju chose to resurface, confirming thereby the investigators' earlier well-founded suspicion that this was a carefully staged disappearance rather than a genuine case of abduction. The National Police Service views this conduct of Raphael Tuju not merely as an isolated act of falsehood, but as a deliberate attempt to mislead the Kenyan public, to misdirect the law enforcement resources, and undermine confidence in the very institutions tasked with protecting our citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, this deliberate conduct by Raphael Tuju appears to be a calculated effort to deceive the public, to generate unwarranted sympathy, and to undermine the integrity of the National Police Service, and for that matter, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations for apparent political or personal motives. This is not an isolated occurrence. The DCI has documented numerous similar incidents involving staged disappearances or false abduction claims, often by public figures and even including politically exposed persons, in a disturbing pattern designed to undermine public trust in our law enforcement agencies.
All right, so people of the internet, you can hear that. And what the police, from the video that we have just listened, there is something that is very interesting, what he has said at the tail end of that press conference, that we have documented many of these happenings where public figures abduct themselves and then come out later and we find out that never been abducted. That is a serious line by the government officers. And when this gentleman wrote to me this, he actually captured it very well, because now, thanks to this conduct, the cynics will laugh fast. The police will delay fast. Government defenders will mock fast. And real victims may be doubted because a well-known figure appeared to have done this same conduct. So, he says the kind of story enters country already wounded. He says that this activates fear, it activates outrage, it activates political response, it causes allies, friends, opponents, and the public to react with urgency. And they did. And I want to go to somebody that is very high ranking in this country. And actually, when he's talking about this, he's actually laughing. He's feeling like these guys are actually getting into our trap. I want to read for you, Alai is up. Let me read for you what Alai said. Alai said something very interesting today. He's saying, so Tuju is abducted, and suddenly Tuju is a favorite of only UN students, where Patel has drug dens feeding cocaine, bang, and Ndovu kids. That is why even the police can't be allowed into Tuju's current home, but former CS Tuju believe that this scheme will now work wonders for him. That is Robert Alai speaking. What Tuju has essentially done is to put that seed of doubt in every Kenyan, so that if a Kenyan is truly abducted, what people will be asking, where is he actually hiding? Where is he spending the night with his girlfriend? And this is very interesting. And for me, I am very pained, because when Tuju, when we went to Dari property and we actually found Tuju at the gate, we sat down there with a few of those family members. And there was a narration of the persecution of Raphael Tuju. When yesterday I heard the news that actually Tuju is missing, this same relative of Tuju, we sent them a WhatsApp message to tell us exactly what is going on. They never responded to any of our text. When we called, they never picked up their call. This same relative that is so close to Tuju was nowhere to be found when actually Tuju was missing. Somebody that is so close to Tuju could not come out and tell us exactly who had kidnapped him. But let us listen to CS Murkomen and hear what he has to say about the same.
Menyorosha mambo ya security, wale wakora wa zamani wanajiuliza, na hii watu walikuwa wanatupwa, wanakuwa abducted, wanapelekwa Rivayala, kwa nini hii serikali haifanyi hivyo? Kwa sababu sisi, we are a government of rule of law. We only deal with criminals and deal with them according to the law. Ndio unaona wengine wanajiabduct. Mtu akiona ati ndio apate sympathy, sasa surely, and I have to say this express. Juzi, jana nikiwa ndege nimetoka London, ninaambiwa ati Tuju amepotea. Nikasema ati, nikaambia DCI amepotea. DCI akaniambia familia yake wanasema amepotea, lakini uchunguzi wa serikali ako kwa nyumba yake analala. So unajua hata serikali inajua uko wapi, si ndio? Umelala wapi, saa ngapi na nani na hiyo mambo yote. So akaniambia, waziri, usiwe na wasiwasi. Huyo mtu alizima simu, na mara ya mwisho kuzima simu yake amesima kwa nyumba yake na ni bedroom, na amejifungia pale. Nikamuuliza DCI, siwende pale sasa uulize kwa family. Asema hapana, familia yake wamefunga gate. Wamesema walienda police station wakaripoti ati amepotea, lakini wakasema msikuje nyumbani. So today the IG aliamurisha police kwenda kwake kwa lazima, because somebody cannot incite the public and to cause unrest in this country in the name of abduction. Aliposikia polisi wako gate, akaita media, kasoma habari, akasema nilikuwa nimejificha. Yet his family walikuwa wameenda police station. You know, these theatrics must come to a stop. And these repetitive theatrics must come to a stop. And I want to ask the judiciary to become very vigilant. If we bring people who are abducting themselves before the court of law, you must take the severest action against them. Because then, if you don't, you are going to create a very bad culture in this country where people abduct themselves so that they can gain sympathy and to put government, that the government is in bad light. And I know where that script comes. Inatoka tu ule jamaa alijifungia hospitali kwamba yeye ni mgonjwa, ndio asiende kuulizwa maswali kwa Senate. Akafungia Koimburi. Koimburi sasa ameshasema wazi, alimlazimisha, akampeleka kwa hospitali na akamwambia ujiambie wewe umekuwa self-abducted. Ndio hiyo ameambia Tuju afuate hiyo njia. That behavior must come to an end, and we are going to take stern action against all these people who pretend to have been abducted so that they can.
So that is what is happening right now. A lot of you are joining me today. We are almost 700 people watching live, and this, I want to throw this back to you people of the internet, because I think that there is somebody that is saying that I am talking too much about this issue, but I wonder why he's talking so less. He's not telling us why Tuju actually switched off his phone and decided to go somewhere else. I mean, it just bad manners that you have a problem with a bank that you have not paid a damn for 10 years since they gave you a loan, and now suddenly they are the ones on the wrong. We carried a story of EADB here, and we talked about the issue of Tuju, and I still believe that EADB has not handled this issue properly. But now Tuju is handling this situation in the most bizarre way and is asking for sympathy from us. A lot of people are saying that Tuju is not a poor man. If he's not a poor man, so why is he coming to us and telling us all these things? But I want to read some of the things that you guys are saying. Mr. Dickens Busile, thank you very much for joining our live today. I believe he's seeking public sympathy. Thank you very much. Mr. Mark Osiche is saying he ni mchezo ya town. Okay. Dickens Busire comes back again and says we are feeling the absence of Raila. I am very sure Raila angekuwa ungesikia hii kesi imeisha. Ni mbaya, nobody is safe. Peter Mangiro is saying Agwambo was a supernatural and omnipresent. His appearance would have changed everything. Kalonzo Wamalwa cannot even scare a fly, let alone squirrels. Okay? Nuru is saying that it's a mixture of depression and poor opposition politics. And I agree. I think that Tuju has basically handled this case very badly. For 2 years, he has been dilly-dallying. He's not been arranging these issues. Look, I think that most people have loans. People owe each other 5,000. People owe each other 2,000. People owe each other 100,000. I owe people money. But you see, when you owe somebody money, you try to figure out how you are paying it. Tuju has never come out and told us that I have paid so much money. He has paid zero. The other day I was talking to somebody and saying that what we would have been talking about in the issue of Tuju is the issue of accountability. Tuju would be saying that I have paid this much, I have put this much down, I have done this, I have done this. He does not say that. So I think that this is very problematic for him. And therefore, I agree when somebody is saying that it's a mixture of depression and poor opposition politics. Opposition has handled this thing very, very badly. They are having an egg on their face. They don't know where to turn. People like Orengo should have known better, should have pushed the family to talk to Tuju and ask them exactly what is happening. I don't know what is happening with Tuju's son, Mano Tuju. He was involved in this mix. He was one of the people that had put their word down that if Tuju does not pay this amount of money, then they will be responsible for this loan. So this whole thing is just smelling very badly. And I believe that if depression is setting in, then Tuju perhaps needs some help. If you look at Tuju and the way he's talking, he's not the Tuju that we know, the strong Tuju, the articulate Tuju, the Tuju that knew what was happening. So this is the thing. I want to go ahead and read from Haida. Haida is saying, how can your family be traumatized and you are in your own house? We are not going to sympathize with criminals and gangsters. Perez is saying, these are the games Tuju has been playing with the bank. And you can't deny that. At this point, you can't deny that these are the games that Tuju has been playing with the gang. This hide and seek game. And I think that it was a bad move to play with the government because the government can triangulate where you are exactly to a pin. Even if your phone is off, they can tell it. Wherever you are, within 3 meters of where you are, if you are having a smartphone that is basically switched off. So the government knew where Tuju is. And we were talking with Odhiambo here yesterday, and Odhiambo was saying that Tuju is a person of interest. I have a feeling that the government has always wanted to know where Tuju is at any given time, because they are also afraid that if something happens to Tuju, they'll be the first people to be blamed. And so this is what it is. And this is very, very bad for the country. Mr. Rono Bernard is saying, could the media personality you are talking of be Walter Menya? Well, I'm not going to talk about him because he told me that he's not ready to come out. He's still afraid. He was in prison for 3 years. I don't know whether Menya was one of them, but the guy was in prison for 3 years. He went to Tuju's office to have a conversation with Tuju about an issue, and Tuju fixed them, according to him. I'm not sure, but I've been told this by 3 separate people. So, whenever there is fire, there is smoke, there is always fire. Mr. Muthambi the Jewel is saying it's very embarrassing to watch that press conference as a Kenyan. Precisely. It's very embarrassing to watch that press conference as a Kenyan, because what I think is happening is that the Kenyans have been defrauded in this issue. And we are not saying that the government is the victim here, or that the government does not have a case to answer in so many disappearances that we have had in this country. But the fact is, this one smells bad. Really, 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 really bad. Mr. Preston says the legislature must enact a new law criminalizing stage abductions once proven. While citizens rightfully respect the reach of the law, a clear distinction must be made for victims of genuine cases. I totally agree. Goodyear is saying Kenyan politics are never-ending drama. Precisely. Barack Ochieng is saying, we are sorry for this incident to Tuju. Let's believe that someone is not playing drama to create an impression that Tuju abducted himself to draw sympathy of Luos and act against the government. Jairo is saying Owidi is a truthful man. Exactly. Owidi was here telling me in the afternoon yesterday that I would not be surprised if Tuju abducted himself. And precisely, that is precisely what he did. He abducted himself, which is not good. It's a betrayal to us, the people that have always spoken for him. We have spoken here for, I don't know why Odhiambo has taken off today, but probably this one is an egg on his face. Probably I'll call him and ask him. I'll probably call him on air actually right now and talk to him. I'll dial his number here and talk to him. I hope he's going to be to be heard. Where is Odhiambo? I want to find him on phone and see whether he's going to talk to us. I hope he's going to be Ryan Odhiambo. Tieno. Let me call him. I want to call him and see where he's hiding. I don't know whether you can you hear me? Can you hear me on that mic?
Hello?
Odhiambo.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Are you able to hear him?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You are live on air.
All right, okay.
People of the internet are asking you, tell us what happened to your friend, because you say that you're a family member and they're demanding on the comments. What happened? Why have you taken off from the studio today?
No, I've been busy meeting up a few people.
Yeah.
But yes, I can tell you what happened. So at this moment, I can reveal to you that yesterday I did reveal to you some confidential information.
Okay.
Of what we were suspecting that could be. Yes, Tuju was being trailed. And Jagero, we've seen so many people saying that they were being trailed and they were abducted and they ended up dead. Okay? You have had very many people from the government, others from whatever quarters coming to share with you if these guys were abducted.
People of the internet, I want you to know that, I want you to tell me if you can listen to Odhiambo. Please tell me if you can hear Odhiambo. I'm on the phone with him.
Can I proceed?
Yes, you can proceed.
Yeah. So many people have told you different things, including guests that you've hosted on air. They've told you that, some of these people were abducted by opposition, some of them were abducted by government, some of these people ended up dead. Okay? So I believe yesterday I did reveal to you that something could be happening and Tuju is taking precaution. And because the wife has not answered me to this moment, but as at yesterday, I had that suspicion that Tuju must have taken precaution and he must be in his house and is not that is abducted, because the first thing we would expect is for the wife, to come out and claim or to report that he has been, that Tuju is disappeared. But since she didn't come out and she was not answering, I thought, and I did share with you, that this must be a case of him taking precaution and keeping to himself out of abundance of caution. But if you're being trailed and you don't take precaution, what if you end up dead? These things have happened before.
The question that I want to ask you, Odhiambo, and this is very, very interesting.
Right.
Because I have no problem with Tuju taking any precautions. Because this is Kenya, anything can happen to you, especially if you are in the eye of the storm like Tuju is. I understand. Yes. The question is, how come Mr. Orengo did not know? How come Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka did not know? How come all these people that have always around him did not know? Because if he had told them that, look, this is what is happening to me and I'm taking precautions, then Kalonzo Musyoka would have not rushed to the internet. Because I was reading to the people of the internet exactly verbatim what Kalonzo Musyoka said, and Kalonzo is very close to Tuju. This is what Kalonzo Musyoka said about Tuju. Yesterday evening, former Cabinet Secretary Raphael Tuju and his driver were forcibly abducted. Their vehicle was later found abandoned in Karen, Nairobi, and both men remain missing to this hour. This is unlawful, unconstitutional, and a direct affront to the dignity of every Kenyan. Make no mistake, the United Alternative Government and every Kenyan of goodwill condemns this criminal act in the strongest terms. Tuju, this is a very high-ranking former government officer. And I'm thinking, all right, it is okay that he's taking his precautions, but can he tell people that are close to him, people that he know are going to overreact when they hear of disappearance? What do you have to say about that?
Well, of course, it's concerning to every citizen who is of goodwill that whatever Kalonzo wrote was, of course, inflammatory and concerning. That I agree. And I'm not going to side with evil in this case, okay? Now, what I want you to understand, Jangero, never take anything in politics at the surface value or the face value. There's always something else that is happening deeper in politics. Everything that you see happening there's something deeper happening, always. And so when Kalonzo was saying that, genuinely, maybe Kalonzo was not aware. Genuinely. Okay? Because when you are taking precaution, you do not reveal to everybody else your location. Is that right?
Okay.
Why don't you reveal to any other person? Because the training I've received in my journalism life and in my VIP handling life, I've been taught that you must never trust anyone. And the thing that is eating you is always within you. It's not outside. So if you're in such a situation like Tuju, at this moment is where he should remove himself from the public completely, okay, and remove himself from interacting with those quote unquote he calls trusted fellows, because that very trust is where it is used to lure you into traps. People have been lured into traps and they've been murdered, including a friend of ours just recently. Okay, so what Kalonzo wrote is what any politician will write. I am not saying what Tuju did was good, but let's understand it from the question of it was out of abundance of caution and not out of spite for the government or out of spite for the people who are trailing him. But Tuju has young children, Jagir. Young, literally. If Tuju dies today, let's say those guys trail him successfully, as he was saying, and they hit him, and his head breaks or his leg breaks. Tuju is somebody who has suffered so many accidents. What will you be saying?
Odhiambo, can I ask you one more question? You were here with me yesterday.
Yes.
Let's look at this. Kalonzo Musyoka wrote this inflammatory post that we both agree is inflammatory 20 hours ago. There is no audio. There was no audio. Yeah, go ahead, Odhiambo.
Yeah.
Don't put that.
There is nobody you can trust at that moment, Jagiro. Everybody becomes a suspect. Everybody becomes a suspect, including your mother becomes a suspect.
Okay.
Yeah, because you never know. You never know if you call your mom, you'll be trailed or your signal will be tracked. You don't know whatever will be happening. So this is not out of spite. That's what I'm repeating. If at all it is true that Tuju was being accosted, what I'm saying is, out of abundance of caution, he did what he did, and we are not making excuses for him for what would appear as bad manners. We are saying what happened was not right in public view, but for matters of strategy, it is right for him to protect himself. In this life, you got to survive fast before you fight. Let him survive fast, let the man survive, because the situation in which Tuju finds himself, no human being living alive or living now would smile. Can we appreciate that Tuju could also be going through some sort of psychological stress? And this psychological stress could at times, could sometimes want you to behave in a particular manner. You understand? And his particular mannerism of acting is, one, raising public awareness. Two, being extremely watchful and not lowering his guard during this moment. It is this time where he has to be very cautious of what is going on. Yes. I have to leave you.
Okay, no worries. I think we have heard you. People are saying here that there is no sound. I wonder whether it is back. But thank you very much, Mr. Odhiambo. There are a lot of people here that have been listening to you, about almost 1,000 people listening to me and getting to hear what you have to say on this matter, because they are wondering why you took off.
No, don't say I took off. Tell them the truth. Tell them I was in meetings. I didn't just manage to come this evening. I've just finished another one right now. I'm just being told I'm being ushered into another room for another meeting. I'll be finishing shortly.
Okay, sawa. Thank you very much. All right. So people of the internet, that is Odhiambo. Odhiambo says that I don't know whether we have got sound. We are okay. People of the internet, we have got sound. Sound is back. Please tell me if sound is back so that I can know that it is actually back. Because there was a video that we were trying to play, but then that video took away our sound for some reason. All right. So that is the issue. Odhiambo tries to make sense and saying that this has been the case, that Tuju still, is afraid of his life. Well, I want to read the people of the internet what they are saying. A lot of people have said a lot of things. Odhiambo people are saying that Odhiambo is loud and clear. We can get him clear. I don't buy this story of Tuju. What if he was manipulated to say so? Tell him to be honest. When Tuju was Secretary of Jubilee, he did very bad things to Ruto, but Ruto don't speak now. Nani atamsaidia. Okay, so those are the things that are going on. I want to read from Skipo TV. I think we need to agree that we are doing is giving opinions. We are not also sure of what exactly happened. Unaweza finywa hadi useme it was self-abduction. All right, Dickens Robert is saying, Jagero, this is deeper than you think. They want you to be their mole in the United Opposition and is not playing ball. Perez is saying that why does he have an issue recording a statement? Fine. Mr. Mark Orlando is saying, Jagero, there is more than meet the eye. Tuju is not the first person to go on default on loan, non-compliance. The amount of interest regarding this facility is enough explanation. And I totally agree that there are some things that do not make sense in this case. I totally agree. What I am actually saying for sure is that let us go back to ourselves and deal with this issue in a way that makes sense to all of us, because this issue is currently, abducting us. We are all abducted. We are all kidnapped. Our psyche is all kidnapped. And we are now wondering what exactly is going on. And that is the issue that is happening right now. So for me, I want us to all calm down and say, okay, what exactly is happening? And it is just that it is very difficult to understand it. It's very difficult to understand it. So we have a loan. We have abductions. We have people claiming that even... I want to ask you people of the internet this question. If you, I don't know, if you are being followed by a strange car, if you're being followed by a strange car, together with your driver, do you guys park and then get out of the car and leave the car key in the ignition and then go and hide? And you're not calling your friends and you're not doing anything. Let me read your comments. Why is nobody talking about, that is Robert, why is nobody talking about the car trailing Tuju and the Mzungu conned 60 million at Harambee House? I smell a fish here. Now, the reason why perhaps we are not talking about the car is that it is only Tuju who saw that car. We as people did not see that car. The car was only seen by Tuju, and Tuju went ahead to the police station and recorded the statement. Okay? Mr. John Omundi is saying, Tuju has been taking videos of himself and the police around the premise, even when serving them tea. How come he didn't even take a picture of the car, which was trailing him? Okay? Can I read that again? John Omundi. Tuju has been taking videos of himself and the police around the premise, even when serving them tea. How come he didn't even take a picture of the car, which was trailing him. Okay? Preston is saying Odhiambo is not being honest with us, the people of the internet. He's actually abusing our intelligence. He should be honest to us. Okay? People are saying Odhiambo is messing up his CV. That is James on Political Headache podcast by being an apologist for Tuju. Okay, Joyce is saying, and I agree with her, I cannot judge Tuju just yet because I feel that he's being manipulated. He's been manipulated. Okay? Yes, very clearly. Okay. John Omondi is saying all this was stage managed to derail the president's tour in Nyanza. Every time the president goes to Nyanza, a drama happens. Okay. Somebody is saying, Jagero, I am watching from Dubai. Choki, leo umewaka moto ya. Thank you very much. Edwin is responding to Joyce and amwambia, what are you saying? Okay, really is saying, how will it play out? Tuju is a bad actor in a bad play. That is Ken Ambula. We'll read Ken Ambula again. Tuju is a bad actor in a bad play. Why go all the way to hide in Kiambu, yet we have Kalonzos, or Rigijis, or Sifunas, or Muturis, or Wanjigi's homes, etc., to seek refuge? Question mark. Bure kabisa. Okay? Preston is saying, you are very wrong, Odhiambo. You should remove yourself from this issue. Tuju was lying to the public. Alfred Abala is saying, Jagero, they have taken off. They have left you alone on the studio. Sometimes, that's really funny. This is my studio, people of the internet. So sometimes, I just go alone and I speak with you guys. And it is also interesting that we can actually speak, the two of us, me and you, the people of the internet, just the two of us, speak and have, one of the reasons that I started Political Headache is so that people can actually speak. I can create a platform where people can actually speak. So that is, they have not left me alone in the studio, Mr. Alfred. I am just in my studio. Kiprotich Mutai is saying, why did they report to the police then? His wife knew Tuju was in the house. Okay, Rono said, sound is lost, bwana. Tulirudisha sound, brother. Okay, somebody is saying there is nowhere Tuju said he was abducted. Of course, he went missing as a precaution. Other people were worried. And as the Kasongo government has been doing to the youth, you must be worried. We are not saying that Tuju was abducted. We are also saying that people are saying that he's abducted. His friends, Orengo was saying he was abducted. Asifuna was saying that he was abducted. Kalonzo Musyoka was saying that he was abducted. Whether Tuju says, because Tuju could not say he was abducted because we couldn't find him. He was not there. So how could he speak? He was not speaking. So that was the question. Okay? Mr. Perez is saying, I think it's a miss. Kenyans need to use their brains to analyze situations. Otherwise, people like Odhiambo will think for them. Okay, somebody was claiming that there was no picture. Did Tuju say he was abducted? He didn't. He didn't say he was abducted. But everybody around him was saying that he was abducted. And it's interesting. Okay, Mr. Osimi is saying it is the man in the studio who has gone rogue with his shallow analysis of Honorable Tuju's predicament. I think he needs a few lessons on security. Okay, Mr. Osimo, why don't you tell us the lessons on security? Because we have opened the platform for everybody to say what they think. If you think I'm the one who has gone rogue, I am just telling you the things. I have given you a video of Mr. Murkomen speaking. I've given you a video of the police speaking. I've given you a video of Tuju speaking. I have given you a video of everything. All I have done on this podcast this evening is to say my opinion, just like you have an opinion, because you can have an opinion, I can have an opinion, but most of the things that are put for you together today are things that have been said by the police, things that have been said by friends of Tuju, things that have been said by politicians all around the internet, things that have been said by you. And right now, I'm actually reading the statements that are being put together by you. So when something has captured the national psyche, like the one for Tuju, and as a platform, as a media platform, I am supposed to bring these issues to you. I am also having an opinion, and I can give my opinion. And that is merely what I am doing tonight. Listening to your opinion, giving my opinion, and putting together the opinion of others. So that is what I am doing. Anyway, Jairo Mwaluma, Jagero Tuju, dial number mbaya, my friend. I was working for Bet for over 5 years. He's a good boss, but don't play with him. He's above the law. Promise you, Jagero. Okay. Odhiambo said he's biased sometimes back. Well, he did. Preston is saying there is no strategy here, Odhiambo. I like listening to you, but today you are very boring in your analysis. Mr. Osimo seems to be having a problem with me today, which is fine. He's very pissed off. I don't know what is pissing Osimo off today. Kennedy is saying that the opposition are trying to split Luo vote with abduction shenanigans or the Tuju saga. Okay? Kipngeno is saying another Malala script in action. Very hilarious. Okay? Simiyu is saying we are waiting for Rigiji to tell us how his vocal cords have been broken. He can't speak nor eat. Okay? Mr. Zabibi is saying Afro-cinema continues shortly. Listen on Afro-cinema. What do you expect when you see those opposition fellas together? I'm convinced beyond doubt it was their idea, Mr. Smith surely. Martin is saying, I didn't know it's an offense to hide from the abductors. I don't think it is an offense to hide from anybody. It is just that it is a bit strange when you do that and then expect the country to just go mum, because this situation is both concerning to the members of the public, because there are people who love Tuju. Remember, there are people who watch Tuju on KTN for a very, very long time. There are people that have seen Tuju as a minister of tourism for a very, very long time. There are people who have seen Tuju as an MP for 5 years. So everybody is concerned. And this is why this is a national story. So that's the reason. So it's not like it's an offense to from abductors. Mr. Bob is saying Tuju was a very good friend of Uhuru Kenyatta. What is Uhuru Kenyatta doing all this mess? Can he help him service his loans? What alipana nyuma ya 10? The stress is not necessary. Well, I don't know. George is saying, Jagero, where is Tuju man eka Mr. Odhiambo? That's very interesting. Mr. German is saying Tuju is being advised by the opposition to destroy unity between the president and Luos, but such tactics won't work. Let him deal with his case legally and wait for the final verdict. Okay, Mr. Suleiman is saying Tuju has fallen short of expectations. This Tuju story is just bad. Anyway, one term. Okay, he started with KBC. Okay, Martha is telling me that he started with KBC. Odhiambo is wise and human too. Mr. Musungu is saying Odhiambo is wise and human too. I agree. Okay, Eli is saying I've seen a video of Tuju crying on the couch. He must be suffering from stomach ache too. May my former MP find peace. Jagero, Amos is saying something here that is very interesting. I don't know why he's saying that, but he's saying, Jagero, make an arrangement to invite Ademba Allens. I don't know who Ademba Allens is. Can you tell us more about him? Yeah? You have the video. You know him, eh? My producer is saying that he knows him. What happened to him? He's an activist. Oh, okay. That's fine. Moses is saying that if somebody is trailing you, the immediate and reasonable thing to do is to alert your immediate family member and report to the nearest police station for safety, or else Kenyans will not be deceived. I think to be honest, to be fair to Tuju, he did that. I just don't know what happened. Edwin Gashuki is saying, I think Tuju's script is bad. One, for a country that is so charged politically, we can do better. Okay. Lois Baraza is saying, what time does the live start? Somebody is saying, Obunga, get us with Yambu. People of the internet, it has been really nice today, and I think that this is one of the stories that has captured us. We have got other videos. Which videos do we have that we have not played? We have no videos that we have not played. So this is the issue that happened today, and for me, I just feel like it is important for us to make sure that we do better as a country. I want to finish by reading the gentleman's letter that he said. He said that people like Edwin Sifuna were drawn into that moment. Okay, they responded to what appeared to be a grave threat. Their reaction was not foolish. Their reaction was human in a country with a record enforcing disappearances. Who would hear such a story and casually shrug? This is why the alleged deception is so serious, because if a person knows this country's history, knows the public mood, knows the language that triggers alarm, and still uses the language for another purpose, then that is not just dishonesty. Okay? I would say and I would believe that that is exploiting our collective pain. And even if you look at the DCI letter came out with a sharply different version saying the disappearance was a charade, saying forensic tracking placed him at his residence, saying the story was built to attract sympathy and deflect from the financial pressure. The damage was also very immediate. Now, the country is left with two injuries. The first injury is the possibility that the public was manipulated. And this is the reason why I was very unhappy today, because as a member of the society, I felt that I'd been manipulated. Because when news broke that Tuju was actually abducted, I actually, came to this podcast yesterday and talked about it. We talked about self-abduction. And a lot of people on the internet, people like you, came out and say that Owedi should not be telling us all this fake stuff that is going on. Okay? So he says that the country has got two injuries. The first injury is the possibility that the public was manipulated. The second injury is that the future real cases may now face greater suspicion. We have gentlemen that were abducted in Uganda. They stayed in Uganda for more than 1 month. So this what he says is a real cause, because from this point onward, every genuine family with a missing loved one may have to fight not just the absence of justice, but also the new sarcasm of the political class. Someone will say maybe it's another Tuju script. Someone will say maybe he's hiding. Someone will say maybe this is politics. And now that is how false alarm position poison the well for the truly desperate. That is why this matter cannot be treated as gossip. It touches the public meaning of abduction itself. There is another ugly dimension here. If the state and its supporters can point to this case as proof that abduction stories are often fake, that becomes a weapon. A gift has been handed to those who already dismiss pain until it arrives at their own gate. Every time a citizen raises alarm over a disappearance, government loyalists may now point to the incident and say, you see, these people are staging these things. Every time civil society demands answers, they may be told they're amplifying drama. Every time the opposition cries foul, someone will drag out this story as an example of manufactured victimhood. That is not a small consequence. That is a political contamination. And it is worse because Kenya does not have the luxury of innocence on this subject. There is enough history, enough testimony, enough fear, enough smoke around state abuse that abduction claims cannot be handled like a joke. They must be treated with seriousness from the start. So people of the internet, that was me today. I thank you very much for coming here today and being with me and giving me your opinions. It is the opinions that matter. The reason why I started Political Headache is so that we can gather around this fireplace and talk as Kenyans. Like I've said, I will be accepting people that are giving me their voices or accepting calls. Until that time, we will have to talk about with the guests that are in the studio, and we will read out your comment. If you're watching live today and you are not subscribed to Political Headache, please do so. Hit on that notification bell, the one that looks like a bell, so that when we have something coming up, you will be duly notified. We are on social media, we are on Facebook, we are everywhere else. So please, thank you very much. Until another episode, bye for today. HustlesAfrica.com, a guide to high-paying online jobs. At HustlesAfrica.com, you will discover the jobs people are doing from home, the platforms where opportunities are found, the skills that open doors, and the practical steps to begin earning. Go to HustlesAfrica.com today.